think I'm gonna try holding the microphone today. Usually I have a pen in my hand and that feels good, but we'll see how this feels. That's the point of trying out YouTube, right? Okay, so hi, I'm Ruben. I am a project manager in my day job and a content creator at night, trying to make this YouTube thing happen for me. And as you saw on the title, today we're talking about getting over ourselves because we're not that far behind. I have my notes over here on one screen and my notes over here on another screen. So grab your coffee. I always have a coffee in my butterfly mug. Set me down, do what you got to do. But I think this is going to resonate with you if you're feeling like you're stuck, if you're feeling like you're not supposed to be, or you're not where you're supposed to be. So let me take a sip and we'll get into it. Okay, so I'm turning 33 in a couple of weeks. Can't believe I'm saying that on video because I'm a Mariah fan, and Mariah always says she doesn't celebrate birthdays, she celebrates anniversaries, darling. And she's eternally 12. But the reality is, I'm turning 33 in a couple of weeks, and I have this whole like checklist, you could say, that a person my age should probably have already checked off. So, like being married, having kids, having a house, having savings, and overall just having like a sense of stability. Don't think I have any of that. uh, yeah. So I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I'm failing. Maybe you feel the same way too. If you don't have that off your list yet, if you haven't checked those items off your list. But here's the thing that I've realized in my own life. I'm I'm not measuring with the correct ruler. Like I'm not comparing myself to the correct people. And by that, I mean that my timeline is automatically going to look different. And this might apply to you as well. Depending on the type of person you are, depending on your sexuality. So for instance, if you can't tell, buy my butterfly mug, buy my star lavender star over here. I'm a gay man. And so my path to a relationship, a partnership, whatever you want to call it, a marriage, is going to look different. My journey to a family, let's say, I don't know if I want to have kids. That's a conversation for later. It's going to look different. My path to getting kids is going to look different. So, why am I then comparing myself to like a straight man who's going to be 33? You know, there are definitely some lines that compare, but not the relationship part. So I am finally getting to a point where I'm like, yeah, it would be nice to have a boyfriend. It would be nice to have a partner, someone to go on vacation with, someone that kind of knows me, that understands my mood, understands that I'm a Gemini, and sometimes I am wanting to talk to people, and sometimes I want to be left alone. So I'm finally to that point. Again, don't know if I want to have kids. I would work that out with that person, with that partner. If it's something they want to do, I'm willing to have the conversation. So that's part of me. I say all that to say, you know, I'm getting to know a little bit more about me. So, what is the situation in your life? And why are you comparing yourself to, someone else that doesn't share the same path? So, that's my timeline. That's something that I know looks different for me than for somebody else. The money part. The money part, we got to take responsibility for. I got to take responsibility for. I don't have a lot of savings. I don't have a lot of savings. That makes me feel like, dang, I'm behind. What am I going to do? When am I going to be able to retire, if ever? But that's on me. But here's more detail. And of course, a car has to go by super loud. I started my career, and I've talked about this in other videos, as a TV news person. So, out of college, I started as an associate producer in Indianapolis, a top 30 market, making a whopping $14.44 an hour. Did that for 3 years, never got a raise. Finally, at the end, I'm like, you need to give me a raise or I'm out of here. They hit me with a contract for 2 years. If I want to leave, then you pay them. I'm not signing a contract. I don't want to be a producer. I want to be a reporter. So I pursued reporting, went to a smaller city, still the second biggest city in Indiana. Usually that's how it goes in the TV world. You start at a small place and then you go to a bigger city and then an even bigger city. And that's how you make more money or you become an anchor. Yeah. So I pursued the reporting job and I got a pay increase. So now I made $15.50 an hour, like over a whole dollar an hour increase. Oh my goodness. But I did have to sign a 2-year contract. So I hated reporting. I felt stuck. If I wanted to leave, I had to pay them. But that's besides the point. So after 2 years, I moved on from that place. And then I got into communications and healthcare. And I made a big jump, for me at least, in terms of salary, like a $20,000 jump. So I made 53. I think that was my starting salary. Then they bumped me up after a year and a half to like 60. Yeah. Still, that job, like, no, this is not working out. This feels like I'm trying to be somebody that I'm not. I don't want to go around the hospital looking for stories. No. So then I tried PR, made about the same, like 55-ish. Then what I'm currently doing now, I work in marketing and I'm a marketing project manager. So I help with operations a little bit, push some projects through. I make 55,000 a year. That's not a lot. It's not a lot right now. I'm basically living paycheck to paycheck, if I'm honest. But anyway, I say all that to say that I have made some progression in terms of income, but I never changed my spending habits. Just the other week, I was spending $45 on Pokemon stuff. Where's my butterfly? Here's my Butterfree hair clip. I bought some hair clips. I'm wearing a hat right now, but I don't have a lot of hair. That's where YouTube is going to help because I'm going to get a hair transplant at some point. But anyway, I never got better at saving my money. Are you the same? Like, we can't blame anybody else. Like, I can say like the school systems need to have a better financial literacy class. That it needs to be a required course to help you save money, to help you invest, all of that. That would be great, but for now, we didn't have that. Let's save, let's track. So I know in my life something that I could be doing every single day is tracking my expenses. Sometimes I have like weeks or days where I'm on a good path of tracking everything. I love a Google Sheet tracker. But then I fall off and then I'm just like, oh, whatever. I want this. I want this. I deserve this. So on that part, let's take responsibility. If we're behind on money, let's look at our expenses and are we making smart decisions there? But anyway, let me get into some of the actual evidence and some of the positives if we're feeling stuck and behind. This is harder than it really needs to be because I'm holding this and then I want to take a drink. I want to take a drink more often than I am. So, some of the positives about where I am and some of the small wins, but actually big wins. I went to school for journalism. I did journalism for 5 years. And instead of being stuck in something that I didn't like because I didn't see a way out of it, like I could have gone to a different station perhaps, and the working environment could have been better. I could have maybe stuck it out and like at some point in a smaller city be an anchor or a weekend anchor and make a little bit more money. But I just didn't like doing that anymore. I didn't like news anymore. So instead of just waiting, become even more miserable, I left. I left. Not everyone risks it like that. So I pat myself on the back for that. I tried communications and healthcare. I tried PR. I tried being a manager in that PR job of 3, 4 people. No, didn't work. It was a nonprofit. It was a whole mess. And I'm trying to learn marketing now, learn project managing now. Do I love it? It's okay. It's okay. The environment is okay. The team members that I have, some of them I get along with very well, and some of them, they're growing on me. If you see this, you know our culture. So this is where YouTube is happening and where again, I will celebrate a win. YouTube is my way out. YouTube is the place where I can maybe quit my job at some point. That'd be amazing. Or make a second income. That would be amazing. Because I do have a lot of stress from some debt, from scholarship, not scholarship, but like student loans, some credit card debt. I want to get a new car, but I'm not at a place where I could really fit that into my budget. I could try, but then I would really be on a pinch some months. So all of that is evidence of we we have accomplished a lot of things. Got my degree after not finishing in 4 years. I started my news job earlier, and then like I'll just do a class, and so then I had to pay a class at a time because I wasn't making any money. But yeah, what are your wins? Maybe make a list. That would be my advice. If I were to be an advice giver, that would be my advice on that. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling behind, make a list of your actual accomplishments. If you don't have any, think harder. Think harder because there's definitely a win in almost every day. You just have to like really stop. What am I trying to say? You just have to get over yourself and like look outside of yourself and be like, okay, he's accomplished this. Like, come on. We know the answers. So here's what I know. Here's what I have figured out. We're feeling stuck. We're feeling behind. Okay. We're not that behind, but we just can't quit. We can't just quit our jobs and we're not happy at our jobs. Not in this economy. We can't just give up on our dreams, and we can't just be like dwelling on stuff, because then you become that person who's like, I want to lose weight, but never does anything. I want to start YouTube, but never does anything, never posts a video. I want to do content creation, but doesn't figure out what type of content they like. I'm kind of in that phase too, but here I am. I'm showing up and I'm just talking to camera, looking at my notes. Maybe at some point I will pull my notes over here and you have something to look at. But the reality is that we're not that far behind. We're either comparing ourselves to the wrong person, comparing ourselves to what our parents did when they were our age. It's looking different right now. Not everyone in their 30s has a house. More people are living in apartments. More people are single. More people are on the dating apps trying to meet people there. We're on our phones all the time. There's all these different changes in society that's affecting our trajectory. So, taking all of that into consideration, but not behaving like victims, we're not that far behind. Am I making sense? Kind of feel like I'm rambling, but no editing. No editing, little editing. So, let's get to the moral of the story. You're not that far behind. Get over yourself. Start posting. Start doing whatever it is that you actually want to do. Figure out your passion. I thought my news was my passion. It wasn't. Then I felt lost. So then I am like, YouTube is my passion. Content creation is my passion. But then I just got stuck in the planning phase. Finally doing it. If this feels right, talking to you, like without reading line for line, like without memorizing every little tiny thing, this feels right. I'm finding my way there, and I'm only going to get better if I keep posting, if I keep learning about YouTube, keeping up with the trends, if I really like spend my energy doing instead of planning, instead of thinking, overthinking. Like if we just get over ourselves and realize that people don't really think about us that much, like we are thinking about ourselves, they got their own problems. We can just do, we can try. And even if it fails, well, we tried and we can try again. You know, one accomplishment, if you're healthy, that's a win. It's a win. If you're able to talk on camera, if you're able to have some free time and sell something, work at a different place, that's a big win. Not everyone is able to do that. Not everyone is in that type of circumstance. So we gotta feel lucky sometimes, but we also have to stop behaving like victims of our own life, of our own selves, our own mind. We control our mind doesn't control us. Okay, I feel like I'm getting a little, I don't know, preachy. Yeah, that's the word. I don't mean to be a preacher. um, but okay, I need to get this out. One thing about YouTube is that because people do turn to YouTube so much for how to's, I felt and I feel sometimes like I gotta be an expert at something. Um, like because people type like how do you do that, like that's why I wanted to talk about Canva, but I'm not a Canva expert. I want to talk about Claude. I'm so over AI. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Hopefully YouTube doesn't like, hit me with a shadow ban or whatever for saying that about Claude, but I just everything that I see now, and I know that it was made with AI, I'm like, okay, impressive a few months ago. Now everything's looking the same. But yeah, maybe I will be an expert at some point. Ooh, this is a win. Update. I was accepted into a master's program in marketing. Kind of excited about that. It means that I'm using my tuition benefit at work. So it means that hopefully, maybe, I'll have to stay at my job until I finish that in order to get my degree because I'm probably not paying out of pocket for that. So I will be doing a class a quarter, 4 classes for the year. You can do the math. And it would be like 2.5 years, 3 years. So yeah, I just got the acceptance email yesterday. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to learning more about marketing. And I know that I can use that for this gig, for making my YouTube goals and dreams happen. So yeah, what's something new? What's something that has happened lately for you that you can celebrate so you don't feel that behind? Because we're not. I'll leave you with that. All right. We check in every week. I want to say Thursdays, but sometimes I'm like, Friday is a better shoot day for me or filming day for me. So we'll just say for now that I post every Thursday or every week. We'll check in weekly. And something new that I'm adding to my flow is doing a YouTube short that then I can drive people to this long video. So after this, after I get off, I'm not done filming. I'm gonna film my YouTube short. But anyway, we'll check in next week. Leave me a comment, give me a subscribe, because we got this. You're not that far behind. Get over yourself. All right. Bye.